just yesterday, I uploaded what I consider to be one of the best comebacks ever. I don't know how on earth that game played out like it did. It was crazy. You should see it if you haven't, because I think it really adds some level of story to this one. But assuming you've seen that game, which will be in the description if you haven't, this game is on that level and features one player who was the reason that comeback was possible, because his aggression, his builds, all fantastic. In the blue here, we have Morg, who has just been bohemian picking nonstop. And if he doesn't get the maps or the settings he likes, he's out of there. He alt F4s and he's done, right? He's just going to wait till the Q ban is done and he's going to play again. I've said it before. I have an issue with that. I play maps all the time. I'm really not that big a fan of, but then there's also people on the other side and they say, hey, why should I play a map that I don't like? Fix the system. It's the system's fault. Doesn't really matter. We've got 1v1 Nomad here. The last time that I covered Nomad, the players were far apart from each other. And we've got Morg here next to Woodline, Berries, and Boar. Perfect start. And then we've got Timo here. And they're sharing the same exact Woodline. And Timo also next to a Boar. Timo going to bring in that Boar. Now, Timo has had a really solid year. Timo's been playing in some different tournaments. I had an upload with him with lots of castles. Honestly, that's maybe even another upload you got to check out. But that was, an Arabia game. And he's been playing tourneys. He's been getting better. And I'm really impressed with Timo and his resilience. Because he's a player where things can get messy sometimes. And, if he's struggling, he really fights, which is exactly what you need against a player like Morg. He is the Malay here. And I don't know how many times he'd faced up against Morg or really seen, kind of the order in which Morg does things. But typically with Morg, it's the castle drop, into the wagons, into the monks, into fast imp. Because, it's just really, really strong. And that's what he had done against MBL pretty much just yesterday. I thought I was going to have some time in between the uploads, but I don't think I will. Over on this right side, we did the dock from Timo. I'm very surprised that he didn't choose to use the villager on the shorefish. I wonder, hold on a second. I wonder if maybe it's bugged and he can't take it. It kind of feels like that shorefish is off the shore. If I had to guess, and maybe we need to just quickly look at this. If I had to guess, he tries to send the villager to the shorefish and it doesn't work. Because there's really no reason a player of his level would do this. Okay, well, now the villager's just moving this way. So we'll just assume that that's the case anyways. But when he walked around with his vill, he did actually end up seeing that Morg was here. Okay? So he might be thinking there's a dock over here. Maybe he's using the villager to scout and look for resources. But he is stuck, guys. He is stuck on the edge of the map. It's nice that he has a dock up. It's nice that that dock has lots of vision with the Malay, which I'll show you in a moment. But yeah, now this would be funny. Timo plays a lot of Black Forest. He likes his Vill Wars. He likes his quick walls. He's been spotted here by Morg, though. And Morg's going to chase this down. And I guess maybe Timo wanted to just kill off those deer to make it more difficult for the opponent. But yeah, look at this. I mean, you got villager on the front trying to click to block, and then the other villager's attacking. And villager's very weak there. I mean, both players have loom, but there's no way this villager survives if this villager doesn't get to safety here soon for Timo. So boar counts 1-1 for both right now. But when you start up next to someone like this and you're up against the edge, you're normally at a disadvantage. Because the guy who's more inland will have access to more boars. And that's what we're seeing here. So really nice situation here for Morg. Morg weakening the boar with the TC. He docked a little late, but he's on 2 fishing ships already. It just continues to chase this down. Now, what's interesting is Morg doesn't have any clue where Timo is. And you would never assume here is scouting with sheep right now. But will be pretty happy that this villager has to run to safety. Because, I mean, unless you want this vill to die, you're going to go to your TC, which is going to give Morg the information that he needs. Both these players well into the top 100. Timo, more of your standard open map player. And I think right there... See, now there's another villa around. I think Morg's starting to have suspicions that the TC is nearby here. Probably assuming right here, honestly. That's what I'd be thinking. I would never assume right here. And, yeah, I guess those deer just aren't going to be taken. Morg with a nice little quick wall. Morg runs away, and Morg's going to send another villager out. Excuse me. But if you remember, like, Morg's builds, he likes to snipe your fish. He needs stone and gold for it, and that's the stone and gold. And that is honestly a stone and gold that both players might be fighting for here. Now Morg knows where Timo is. And the TC does not kill the villager. This villager is also pretty weak, so... That's interesting, right? I want to see, does Timo know? Yeah, Timo knows about this stone and gold, so that's probably where he would go. Knowing about this is nice, because that's where you're expecting the opponent to go too. But there's still only one boar in this game, I believe, for Timo. And now it's his turn to try and block. Morg didn't notice this villager behind was actually weaker. It's a little bit of an uncommon situation that someone with a weaker villager is going to chase you. And Timo is like, click, 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 trying to click the block. And this villager, I mean, I've never really known Morg to be an insane quick waller. Ooh, again, if Morg notices this villager's weak, could go after, but just didn't notice. And could actually lose 2 vills because of this. But tried to just distract, which was smart. I think she's gonna die. This is hilarious, man. This isn't why I think this game's gonna melt your brain. Okay, villager goes down. And now we have a villager chasing another one. Now, because you don't have the boars, you need to add more fish. And that's exactly what Timo's doing. So Timo's got nice fishing eco. He needs to scout out and find more, though. He's almost overfished that. It's not been an easy game for either player. It's been very messy. And still no villagers on gold right now for Morg. I mean, if Morg had a gold and the stone up here, it'd be the dream situation. Has some food over here. Has some food around here. Bringing a villager this way. But no vills on gold yet. That's quite a sight right there. To just walk around and see 11 people chopping up some deer. I don't know what they're doing. I guess they're like scooping the... Ugh. I guess ibex is a type of goat, I've been told. But anyways, goat, deer, whatever. I would get out of there too. I think maybe Morg thought about walling them in, but how are you ever going to wall in 11 vills? So just bottom that right down. And the plan still seems to be some type of fast castle here for our blue player, which is kind of the expectation. Timo still hasn't clicked up yet. It took him some time to get the resources. But it also might have been calculated in some ways because he advances so fast to the next stage. Sometimes with melee players will stay in Dark Age for a longer period of time. I think like right now, from Morg's position, he has an idea. He's kind of got his opponent trapped. But he also might know that if this stone and gold is denied, that there won't be any available for Timo. So I wonder if that's maybe his thinking. Now, he actually builds a house here. I put way too much thinking into this house placement before casting this for you guys. But hear me out. Do you think that he maybe placed this house so he can delete it later to drop a castle there? Like, so that hill can't be controlled? It seems like a very important hill. Maybe even for vision? I don't know. You can let me know in the comments if you agree. And he gets enough gold to go to Castle Age, sold a little bit of resources. He's on his way up, and he's got everybody on stone. Really nice mining camp, too, honestly, because it's like, when you have the stone for the castle, you could just shift over to the gold, and you have no problems. Timo advances quickly, makes it up in no time to the feudal age, immediately makes the blacksmith in the market. And Morg's still looking around. Morg's definitely thinking about this castle doing damage. This castle has to go up in a good area. Could be a defensive castle, though. And then you just start to stream those hussite wagons in towards the enemy. And Morg knows now. You are here on this gold. I need to try and deny this in some way. Now, Timo I would guess knows Morg how he plays because like Morg's playing 12 hours a day and always plays the same civ. So I think he's kind of like, all right, we want to deny this in some way. If he didn't know about the stone, he knows now. That's really smart. That's a nice bit of laming just to kind of ruin the efficiency of the gold. And, well, in 20 seconds, we're going to see Morgan Castle Age. In 45 seconds, we're going to see Teemo. No Navy for either player, by the way. Neither player's set up to do that. I think Teemo could. He's got wood and gold income. But I think Teemo's very concerned he's going to be castle dropped. There's way too many villagers on stone. There's way too much happening here. So he doesn't want this castle to be dropped forward. And the castle's going to be dropped here. And the walls actually come up here from Morg. Because, like, it's kind of weird, but maybe the castle could be denied by Vills. And so, as I've said countless times, it's like the wagons are step one in this. The wagons scare the opponent into either siege or monks. In order to convert the hussite wagons, you need redemption, which is like 500 gold, plus the monk, which is 100. Then you probably need sanctity, which is like 150, just for so the monk is safe. In order to make siege, you need a siege workshop, and then you need a mangonel. Usually you look at a castle and you're like, well, you need a castle to produce that T90. But when you start to add up just how much gold you're going to need to spend on monks, it does really feel like this is still a pretty good situation here for the castle dropper. And what's not good for Teemo is there's a hole here. It was really smart to stone wall up and everything. But yes, there was a hole. And the hussite wagons are here to destroy. We've had 2 deaths in this game. Teemo is under pressure. Teemo, again, wants to go for monks. But doesn't really have the monks out right now. Now, Morg is in dreamland. Like, the opponent hasn't killed his fish. He's Bohemians mining gold and stone heavily. And he's just slicing and dicing Vills. And, like, right now, this is an example of what I was just saying about how hard it is to stop this. He's gone for Sanctity and Redemption. He's gone for the 2 techs he needs. And he's just about to have the monk with those techs. The timing on this attack is brutal. And Teemo's having a really tough time with it. And also, Morg should recognize the opponent is going to go for monks to defend for my wagons. Drops the monastery to then add his own monks to try and take care of the monks. And here he actually tries to kill the monk. Doesn't get the kill. And the walls from Teemo very interesting there. Because the monk actually survives. So in a bit, obviously, that monk can convert. And the Vills, I mean, again, an interesting situation. The Vills actually repair this guy. They're like, hey, we haven't known you for very long, but sure, we'll use our hammers on you. And still just a massacre. Just an absolute massacre. But I mean, Vills do decent amounts of damage. Those 2 are weak. This monk hops out and dies anyways. Oh, there was a wagon here as well. You had the garrison. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my god. And it's just non-stop. Morg just doing this to people. He got a really high elo this week. 2,400, like close to 2,500. And down here we have a new dock from Teemo. Redocking is huge, so the fish is more efficient. And he's also going to be able to see the fish because he's melee. And Teemo needs to re-wall this. Hasn't been able to just yet. The monk gets sniped. This is a messy game, right? It's expected that some mistakes are going to happen here or there. But, I mean, how can you really blame the guy with how crazy things have been here? And unfortunately, it feels as though the thinking for his opponent's already shifting. There's no more wagons in production. We then have double monastery production. And we actually have fire galleys from blue. So Morg noticed that the fish were down here and is going to be able to focus on that now. I get stressed even just watching this. But guys, the title of this wasn't "This is going to make you happy." The title of this was "This game will melt your brain." Okay? So, you know, maybe this is like a real brain strengthening exercise watching this. But this just gets nuts from here on out. We have nice farming eco. Usually the thinking from Morg is always to monks into Imperial Age, because then it becomes like kind of a monk v monk situation. But the best way to win a monk war is to be an imp, so you have the extra range. We do have the new tech devotion coming in, so there's a bit of conversion resistance, and there's some siege as well from Teemo. So, you know, has a wagon, has some mangonels, has some monks. I kind of, in some ways, kind of like adding siege, because I think what players try and get away with is not getting redemption themselves. But now blue kind of needs redemption. It feels weird when you know there's going to be monks adding the siege, but maybe you just got to kind of go for everything. Force them to go for everything. Monks trying to convert monks here. And devotion is in for Morg, so he's not going to lose units as quickly. Over here, I'm not even sure what happened over there. I think the blacksmith got deleted, so it wouldn't be converted. And the villager here gets killed off. It is 2 monks right now for Morg. But he's getting redemption now, which, again, we said we needed. Or he needed. And something I showed, but didn't really say much about, was the save from Teemo. Teemo actually converted both these war galleys. Or fire galleys, rather. The fish is getting kind of crappy right now for Morg. But just keeping your own fish alive and using this would be sick. It's really nice value. Wagon gets converted back over here. And now Morg converts the monk. And this is, I think, because of devotion being in. And yeah, now we have devotion coming in from Teemo. I think Teemo clearly realized, oh, why did I lose that? Because I didn't have that tech. It's so funny how they, like, added that to balance monks. But, like, it's just another step. Like, people had issues with the fact that monk wars were just, like, this order of events that one had to do. It just adds another order. I don't know what this monk is doing. This is a bug, I think, because I saw something like this recently. If you try and build a building foundation over top of a monk, it doesn't just walk off the foundation like villagers do. He just kind of like dances there. Maybe it's because the monk heal is like mid-healing. I haven't reported this yet. This is the 3rd time I've seen this week. Anyways, Teemo's not paying attention to that, guys. Teemo's paying attention to this. His mangonel just got converted. And Teemo trying to build the TC over here. Also, I think he lost a villager over there or deleted the vill. I don't know. There we go. He manually moves the monks so he can complete the monastery. But now over here, Wout loses his monk to the siege. And now can't easily push here if his siege gets converted. But now he's got a monk here to convert the other monk. And now his market is actually getting converted. But then over here we have monks converting monks again. And this is where the brain starts to hurt a little bit. This is where we start to feel it. And I guess Teemo holds. Like, sort of, kind of. Now we got a monk converting a vill. Honestly, I played a game, which I will also cast, and they hit YouTube this week, where I tried to phosphor Huang, and it's not common that I make this many monks. I kind of feel like if you're going above 10 monks and all these upgrades, it's actually kind of worth it to rush Heresy. 1,000 gold means that when your unit gets converted, it just dies and doesn't switch sides. That's a game changer. Look at the market here from Morg. Who has the lead? I mean, population's pretty similar. The monk count's pretty similar. I mean, maybe no one has the lead here. It's pretty much even. But Morg is planning on dropping a castle here. Now, let's see how many control groups these guys have. Do they have them all on different numbers? Teemo's got like 2 or 3 going on. 4 going on, maybe. Same for Morg. Vills are coming to build the castle. Enemy monks are standing on it. We've got more blue monks here. Big problems here for Teemo. But the Mangonel actually switched sides. Never mind. No, it hasn't. Castle's on the way up. A lot of these monks don't have faith on both sides, but there's more monks coming here from Teemo, who's trying to attack and deny this castle, but then the siege is attacking him. And then the monk that was trying to convert the siege got converted, I think. So now the siege isn't being converted. Now the siege is going to be converted again. More villagers are on the way. This is currently a blue mangonel, but now it's a red mangonel. And these are currently blue wagons. But one of them is about to be a red wagon. And the most important thing here really is if the castle goes up. If the castle goes up, the mangonels now switch sides again. Teemo is expanding. Teemo is running. And this is all very bad for Teemo. Castle in the face. No bueno. Mangonel? Oh, almost switched sides again. Can you imagine? That guy would have seen it all. But yeah, this is a problem. Like, this is essentially a castle drop monk war. But blue is castle dropped. And then blue has more monks. And like, you know, technically, there's tools available for monks. Like, you know, in the tech tree, you could go for light cap. They don't have the food eco for light cap. They don't have the time for that. Genuinely, the fastest response to what is coming here is just making monks and trying to outmonk your opponent. And this is tough, right? Like, this is a lot of clicking, and simultaneously, they are all still creating villagers. And if you make a mistake, if you click all of your monks to convert one unit in Castle Age, you lose your conversion juice with everything. So you've got to ideally click individual monks. I mean, this is just obnoxious. I would love to break this down for you in a different way than, you know, I have. But I would just be saying a monk just converted another monk and just repeating that cycle. Teemo's kind of doing all right here. I'm actually going to switch the bottom left. You can see conversions, desertions. That's the CD stat at the bottom left here. Teemo has actually kept it up here. There's more monks on screen. I think part of it's actually the fact that he has his monastery so close. And Teemo now has to try and stop another castle going up on his face. And if this goes up, I mean, monks should die, villagers should die, everything should still die. Still trying to get conversions, but now the villagers, how many are there? 27. Need to run away, or they're all gonna die. So, like, oh, wait. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I didn't realize... Was there a Mangonel attacking that TC that entire time, but Morg never realized? Yo! Yo! I mean, I can understand him not realizing. This Mangonel was going to work that whole time and eventually took out the TC, which is kind of a big deal. And then it starts to attack Vills. Oh my goodness, this Mangonel's insane. Okay, so it killed a Vill or two, and then I guess Morg noticed and took it out. So he has no TC, actually. I might just rebuild it right there. Okay, well, let's just continue. All right, let's try and get like a little bit of a reset. There is a TC here for Teemo, so that's good. He can't really take this golden stone, though. These monks need to find... They need to decide on where to go. It's a real issue for him right now that... he can't really use his monks to defend or push, whatever he wants to do. Here, there's 35 villagers. One is chopping trees. The others are on stone. This is... They need to lay off some people here. This is really just not an efficient situation. Sure, they're going to be upset because they lost their jobs and they've got families. But people, I mean, come on. There's clearly too many employees here. What in the world? I mean, Teemo's desperate for a castle. Okay, the monks are moving around the shoreline here. And they are going to find some monks here from Morg. And also, you know, get some nice conversions on the Vills as well. This is a massive monk army at the moment. Double tower kind of makes sense. This gold is really needed. There is a little bit of gold back at home, but that's it. 3 castles? Still no town centers here for Morg. He didn't make another one. Towers can actually be converted with redemption, but I think this is a little risky, what he's doing right now. Monks can heal each other up if you just get away from the tower fire, and so Teemo's going to back away. Man. Yeah, I mean, anything around here is just going to get converted if Teemo's paying attention. And so, okay. 44 conversions for Teemo. Resources collected, still ahead for Morg. Teemo garrisoned this TC with some of the villagers. And actually, the rest of the villagers ended up relocating to find a gold tier and is dropping another monastery. This is all in the dark for him. He doesn't really have a lot of intel. The siege workshop goes down. Imp would be amazing for both of them, right? Like if both players could make it to Imp, they could go for monk upgrades. Morg is really far behind in the whole monk upgrade situation, but there's still no way for his opponent to stop him from dropping castles, which he's just obsessed with. So here he goes. And this castle will go up as well. So this is going to be the 4th castle here for Morg. The first one was to produce the wagons. The others were to deny resources. And that's kind of funny. We got a boar being taken and a monk going down. There we had the dock deleted. Teemo doesn't want to give his opponent a dock. And Teemo's trying to run away because he knows the castle's going up. Guys, this game was played like within hours of the game I uploaded yesterday, which I thought was like the greatest comeback I've seen. Is the dock going to get converted? Is the dock going to get converted? Villager, monk, person, whatever's happening? No, dock is not converted. Villagers making a run for it. They're doing a little loop-de-loop. Here, monks are converting vills, and monks have converted monks. This TC will go down. These monks are running this way all around, dipsy-doodling around, and we're just going to have a TC. Like, Teemo's just dropped the TC on berries where the opponent has all these buildings, because why not? But I think we all know what's going to happen to that TC. Yeah, we all know what's going to happen to that TC. There's no question. Monks converting more vills over here. That's really going to start to swing the vill count if this continues to happen. And then here we have another monk converting villagers. But the monks are here converting villagers too, and they're trying to meet up with their pals at the berry economy. They're very close to those villagers. They remember those villagers. Got converted finally. Morg now has enough stone for another castle. So it's about to happen again. It's trying to make some sense of the game. The monk group is here. This is the main monk group. And actually, Teemo has enough to drop his own castle now as well, which is not something Morg has been up against yet. It took some time for Teemo to get the stone. And villagers meeting up underneath the castle. Monks just converting each other's monks. We got a bit of a push, I guess, here from Morg. And Teemo would love Imp. I mean, maybe Imp is realistic. I don't know what's realistic at this point. I think what's realistic is that some of you guys got headaches and left. But if you're still here, say, I made it to the headache part. I don't know. You don't have to say that either. Those two vills get converted because they know they're just going to be converted back. They don't even like the red team anyways. So they said, let's not even switch to blue. Here, monks just continue to convert monks. We got a random demo from Ezio. Not Ezio, sorry, Morg, who's made a username to make fun of Ezio, so I probably confused things. Demo does absolutely nothing, and we got a castle now from Teemo. Teemo's going to drop a castle here to protect his monks and protect his villagers. Still doesn't really have a lot of access to gold. That's just over here. But he is on his way to Imp. His opponent has built castles all over his face. His opponent has converted all of his face. His opponent, yeah, has converted every part of his face 16,000 times. But this castle goes up. And it's now 25 monks for both of them. Right? So remember, Morg was like really far behind in the monk number. Now he's caught up. And Morg as well wants to click up to the Imperial Age. Now, it's hard for me to remember specific details of this game before I brought it to you. I just knew it was going to melt my brain. But this is hilarious to me. I think he wants to go to the Imperial Age, but he doesn't have a TC. Yeah. Let's go. This is just so funny. He's got to scramble down a TC to click up to Imp. When do you see that, bro? That's so funny. It's just, he's so used to not looking at his own eco and just castle dropping his opponent's eco that he had to buy the resources to build a TC to click Imp. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Morg's got time because it's going to take a long time for Trebs to take out everything. But there are some aspects of this that get really tricky, right? Like monasteries, for example. He has 2 monasteries here. But if he's selecting all of his monasteries, producing from these could be a little bit of a mistake, right? And it's very likely with how these players focus that they're selecting all their monasteries. Like Teemo's actually not somehow. Well, then again, maybe he is. I don't know. He's producing down here. Anyways, Teemo as villagers down here randomly that they're just going to get, you know, killed off or converted eventually. But this is the key for Teemo. So the key for Teemo is this push. Morg is simply repairing this castle to buy time. And is getting to a very dangerous monk number. 32 monks. Like, this is looking really bad for Teemo. Because this is just, you know, a monk war. Now, Teemo has block printing, so has 12 range on the monks. Illumination, Theocracy, all those upgrades are available and probably should come in. That means it becomes easier to just continuously convert. We have had 130 conversions in this game. And counting. This is not going to stop. Karambit Warriors here for the raids. This is the first time we haven't seen a unit other than a monk in a long time. And Karambits are actually really good against monks because they cost very little. And monks get the most value when they're converting things that cost a lot, right? But Heresy just was researched here by Morg. A really big deal. And Eco is still relatively similar. Resources collected. There's only 100 resources difference. And now we can have those imp upgrades come in. So now anytime there's a conversion by Teemo, the monk just dies. This wins monk wars, guys. Big time. I don't care about the other techs. Heresy is king. And you're going to see why here in just a second. Because anytime a conversion happens, one player is hugely rewarded with another monk. And oh my goodness, the Trebs. Teemo's Trebs. They cannot take out the castle. Teemo's Trebs. Oh no, Teemo's gifted the opponent 1 Treb, 2 Treb. And now suddenly Morg is able to push back these castles. There's 2 castles now for Teemo. But this castle is even going to be trebbed down as well. Unbelievable, right? 78 population for both. This game looked kind of over once one player was an imp, but Morg and his monks, man, he just kept at it. And I do think Heresy was a big play. Well, let's see how this goes. What do you do? So, you can go for Heresy yourself if the monks are even. I think if you've fallen behind in one aspect of the game, you need to switch it up. And the Karambit's clearly his only option from this point. The Karambits are very cheap. I also don't do a ton of damage in their attacks. So that's a key thing too. So if there's a big group of monks, the monks are going to be out healing the damage. Couple Karambits got converted. We have Trebs even hitting some monks in the face. Teemo is throwing everything he can at this. This castle will slowly go down to the Treb on the other side. Teemo's brought Vils, which is kind of smart, but unfortunately the Karambits that he ran in with got converted. And Morg is held on. Morg is falling apart. Teemo's falling apart. Teemo's does still have access to gold over here, though. Actually kind of curious. I'm sorry, I have to pause this. This is too much for me. I just want to see where is Morg even taking gold right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, so he's not really. It says he has 10 on gold. I think these villagers just finished gold, so he's actually just about to run out of gold. Teemo has continued to send monks out of this monastery to convert stuff too, which is, I guess, your best way at raiding right now. I don't know. 1 on food for Teemo. Oh, goodness. And this Treb is getting found by the Karambits. Oh, no. That's a huge loss. Guys, Teemo needs more monks. He needs more Karambits. The only thing I'll say, the only positive here for him is that Karambits do produce very quickly. If this unit is genuinely good in this situation, having 1 castle and just repairing this so you can get as many Karambits as possible, maybe that can change things. Maybe. But it's not looking good. This is his last chance in what has probably been an utterly tilting game. The Teemo is so skilled. But he's up against a player who has mastered this play, has mastered the chaos as well, and is still going to plan on dropping more castles. Like, I think we know that that's precisely what Blue's plan is here. There's 10 Karambits in there, just 10. These monks, I think, have been misclicked. This is going to make matters so much worse here for Teemo. Might be able to get away with 2 of them. But Teemo does not have a lot of food, so needs to buy the food right now. Has a Treb here, still taking out this castle. And Morg still trying to repair. I mean, if Morg can't take this the longer Morg can't take this castle out, the more Karambits there can be. The problem, of course, is like, if you're producing Trebs to defend your own units, or defend your own castle, then you can't produce Karambits. And we actually have Faith come in. Hardy's going to have to edit in what Faith even does. Is that like... Hold on, I should know this. Is it here? I'm going to look like an idiot. I think Faith, like, resists conversion by, like, 50 or 100%. Hardy's going to have it on screen. It's definitely some type of resistance. I mean, how could it not be Faith? It's got to be. But that's expensive, bro. Hardy, put the cost on there as well for the people, because I'm stupid. This is going to be crazy. So, I think Malay don't get Heresy, by the way. That could be another Hardy edit, because most civilizations that get elephants don't get Heresy. Because that can be a really big thing for elephant civs to have. Oh, man, look at these monks. Look at them go. Look at them go. This is crazy. These monks go in. TC shoots down these monks. Here are the Karambits. Faith is now in, and let's see how the Karambits do. The monks are kind of split up. There is that. And, you know, Karambits have killed some monks. That's cool. Congratulations to the Karambits. You've killed some monks. There's still 24 monks out there. But in a game like this, players don't want to quit, right? They don't want to give up. They will fight until they are certain that they are dead. They also know that against a player like Morg, oftentimes the opponent's eco isn't really that good. And maybe something Teemo recognizes is that Morg doesn't actually have any access to gold. Morg has no gold accessible. Morg's gold would be like over here if Morg needs to make a run for it, but that's kind of tricky. So, unfortunately now for Teemo, though, I mean, Faith came in. There's not many monks on the field. There's also not a castle for Karambits, and so we're going to see the castle there. And this is like crazy talk, right? The opponent has Trebs right next to this. And you build a castle, but it's like also kind of like, you know, maybe it's you just need Karambits. Like maybe that's your best bet. I don't know. I would say it's not ideal. Neither is losing a Treb over here. Neither is losing a Treb over here. This feels over. He tried Faith. Every time he's gone for Karambits, he always had about 10 max. So, you know, Teemo maybe needs to have faith in the Karambit warriors and mass more of them. Has really nice vision on the map now that I look at it. I'd love to see just another castle. Like, I think Morg probably wants to, and Morg also has great vision on the map. I think Morg wants to just treb this down and then drop a castle on the hill. But dropping a castle to support the push could be really good. Yeah, there's going to be a castle there. That's kind of an example of supporting the push in some ways, maybe. Red randomly rolling by with a treb. We've got 12 Karambits. They do produce quickly. There's no more stone to repair right now. Wouldn't surprise me to see Teemo buy more stone to repair and keep this up a little bit longer. But no repairs coming in. 15 Karambits out in the field. There is also a Hussite wagon that has seen a lot this game. And now we have Heresy. Okay, Hardy. He already edited it in, I guess. Hardy, don't call me stupid in the edit. They do get Heresy. I swear other Civs don't get Heresy. I'm sorry, guys. The game melted my brain, all right? It's in the title. Jeez. Oh, man. This is just crazy. It feels like the TC is just going to go down. And so now Fate and Heresy, thousands put into an upgrade that is going to mean that Karambits will not switch sides anymore. You do see some blue dots on there. Morg ready to convert some karambits. They will simply die now. That's a pretty big deal. Because in the past, when one would get converted, what would happen is that one would be healed up instantly and fight and kind of soak up some of the attacks from the others. The karambits can't be produced anymore because there's no more castles, but they've done a pretty good job. The monks, maybe not able to be controlled as consistently anymore because it's been a long game, a carpal tunnel inducing game. The karambits finding some value. The monks that are alive are in this castle trying to stay alive. And these karambit warriors are going to find themselves some trebs. Over here, Teemo's still got some random monks who converting some stuff every now and then. And it looks like it's going to be 2 trebs down for Morg. And here he's trying to convert a treb, which is funny. And Morg has no gold, right? Has no gold. Just sold off stone to get gold. So, like, because Morg doesn't have gold, he can't easily make monks or hussite wagons. Making hussite wagons would be the play against karambits. This gold is really important. I really hope the devs don't, like, add a monk civ that can convert while moving or something. That would be brutal. The fact they have the stop is good. Okay, so Treb survives. More monks are in queue. Teemo's still alive somehow. Morg has gold. Now that it's Faith and Heresy against just Heresy, I mean, in theory, that should help. I don't know how much that helps in a monk war. But that should mean that a lot of blues monks are going down, right? I guess you need more monks in the group to actually convert. Because you're just going to lose yours anyways. Okay. Hussite wagons are coming to the gold. That's a problem. That's a big problem. It's full Hussite wagon production now from Blue, who's got 3 castles. Villagers don't even give a crap. They're just going to make a mining camp here. Hello, Treb. There's a Treb. This is normal. Are these monks doing anything? Well, not really. It looks like the relic's no longer in the monastery, too. Okay. Teemo does have a TC, which is kind of nice. Over here, he's got some farms, still producing Vills. Impressive. Vills are now rushing the monks. Here we have Vills rushing the Hussite wagons, and the Treb is rolling away. This game is stupid. But, if you look at the pop, it's actually pretty good for Teemo. Teemo's got a nice little population lead. Don't ask me how, but he does. And conversions on the Hussite wagons lead to the Hussite wagons going down. Villagers attacking a Treb are actually going to kill the Treb. That could be packed up in time. This Treb survives. Morg 33 eco. Teemo 51. I think this Hussite wagon got converted maybe. I don't know what these vills are up to. If I know this game, they're probably going to attack that wagon in 3 seconds. Villagers sharing gold again in the midst of battle. Oh, nope. They're not going to attack the wagon because the wagon's going to be converted and now the wagon's dead. And now these villagers are going to take 300 stone. Guys, there's not a lot of resources left on the map, actually. And Teemo wins the game. He wins the game. You might be like, why? Right? Like, your first instinct might be like, what changed, right? Well, actually, like, a lot kind of changed slowly over time. We're just so used to this being a giant blob and mess that it's kind of hard to add it up. There's 17 monks for Teemo. There's 4 for Ezio. Obviously, Faith is in for Teemo as well, which helps. Teemo has 53 villagers, rather, and is about to have more villagers on gold. This is pretty much the only gold remaining available right now for Morg, who I think I said Ezio all game. I should have really changed the name at the bottom. He made a username to make fun of Ezio. My apologies, Ezio. My bad. But yeah, that happens. That happens. So yeah. I hope it was fun to watch. I didn't advertise it as the most fun game ever, unless you're really into conversions. There's the KD, but look at the conversions desertions. 107 conversions versus 98. So over 200 units were converted this game and switched sides, essentially. Actually, I wanted to see the most created units. Well, that seems just about right. 98 monks for Teemo, 97 monks for Morg. And there were a lot of hussite wagons, as well as Karambit warriors, but the Karambits did change the game once they found their engagements. My thing is, guys, like, what I can't do is I can't have these types of games with that many monks and like still care, right? Like, at a certain point, my will to live just disappears, or my wrists hurt so much that I just can't properly get conversions. And like, normally I will take my games pretty seriously and I will play, and it's play to win, right? That's what it is. It's war. But like, midway through that one, I'd be like, is this actually war though? Like, it's a video game, bro. Like, am I going to lose respect for myself if I lose this game? No. Can I look at myself in the mirror if I continue to micro monks and click this much for the next 20 minutes? Also, no. Like, it's crazy how they just kept going. And, Teemo, I don't think particularly enjoyed this experience. Teemo, I don't think favorited Nomad at all. Might have had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because his opponent's reputation and his opponent doing the same thing 24/7. I don't know. But whatever his motivations were, he certainly played well. 6 monasteries over here, had like 4 over here, had more elsewhere. What a crazy game. Best moment of that game was when Morg had to buy resources to build a TC to go imp. That was my favorite. Which is just yet another reminder that this player is all about being in your economy and not necessarily his own. What a great game, though. Both of them played so well. I hope you guys had some semblance of enjoyment from that game. I can't promise to bring more games like this to you because it's very hard to find games at a high level that play out like this. But obviously, I'll keep my eye on everything, and more fun games will be coming to the channel soon. But yeah, folks, that was it. I'm getting a headache at this point. We're going to head off for now. More uploads every day, as you know. Like the video if you enjoyed the cast. And I hope to see you all soon with a few less monks.